Deep inside a cozy burrow lived a tiny mouse named Squeaky. Squeaky's burrow was nestled beneath the roots of a grand old oak tree, providing a perfect sanctuary from the outside world. The walls of his home were lined with soft moss and dried leaves, making it a warm and inviting place to live. Squeaky had spent many days collecting the finest materials to ensure his burrow was the coziest in the entire forest.
I love my warm home, filled with soft leaves and berries. Each leaf and berry was carefully chosen to create the perfect nest. The leaves provided a soft bed to sleep on, while the berries added a touch of color and a delicious snack whenever Squeaky felt hungry. The burrow was not just a home, it was a masterpiece of comfort and care.
Every day, Squeaky scurried around, playing with his friends. The forest was alive with the sounds of laughter and joy as Squeaky and his friends explored every nook and cranny. They played hide and seek among the tall grasses, chased each other around the tree trunks, and sometimes even ventured to the edge of the meadow to watch the butterflies dance in the sunlight. Squeaky's friends were a diverse group of forest creatures, each bringing their own unique energy and fun to their daily adventures. Life was good, and Squeaky was happy. The days were filled with laughter, play, and the simple joys of living in such a beautiful place. Squeaky felt a deep sense of contentment and gratitude for his life in the forest. He knew that no matter what challenges might come, he had his cozy burrow, his friends, and the beauty of nature to keep him happy and safe. And so, each night, as he curled up in his nest of leaves and berries, Squeaky would drift off to sleep with a smile on his face, dreaming of the adventures that awaited him the next day. One day the sky turned dark. The wind howled like a hungry wolf.
Ooh, feel my power!
Rain began to fall, first as a drizzle, then a heavy downpour. A big storm was coming. Squeaky scurried home as fast as his little legs could carry him. The wind whipped at his fur and the rain stung his eyes.
I must find shelter. Where are my friends?
He had to find shelter. Squeaky reached his burrow, but the entrance was blocked. A large branch had fallen, trapping him outside.
Oh no, what will I do? I'm scared and alone.
He was scared and alone. Suddenly, Squeaky heard a tiny whimper. It was faint, almost drowned out by the howling wind and rustling leaves, but it was there. His ears perked up and his heart began to race. What could it be? Who could it be? The forest was usually a place of calm and serenity, but tonight, it was anything but. The storm had turned the once peaceful woods into a chaotic mess of noise and movement. Squeaky strained his ears, trying to pinpoint the source of the sound. It was coming from somewhere nearby, but the wind made it difficult to tell exactly where. He took a deep breath, trying to calm his racing heart. He had to stay focused. He had to find out who was in trouble.
Rosie? Is that you? Squeaky called out into the darkness, his voice barely audible over the howling wind. He looked around frantically, his eyes scanning the shadows for any sign of his friend. The forest was a maze of trees and underbrush, and the storm made it even more difficult to navigate. He took a few cautious steps forward, his paws sinking into the wet ground. Rosie, where are you? He called again, his voice tinged with desperation. He couldn't bear the thought of his friend being out here alone in the storm. He had to find her. He had to make sure she was safe.
His friend, Rosie the caterpillar, was stuck on a leaf. The wind was relentless, and she was clinging on for dear life. The leaf swayed violently, threatening to throw her off at any moment. Rosie was small and fragile, and the storm was far too powerful for her to withstand on her own. She needed help, and she needed it fast. Squeaky's heart ached at the sight of his friend in such a perilous situation. He knew he had to act quickly if he was going to save her. The storm showed no signs of letting up, and time was running out.
Oh no, Rosie! Hold on! Squeaky shouted, his voice filled with urgency. He could see the fear in Rosie's eyes, and it broke his heart. He had to get to her, but the wind was so strong, and the ground was slippery and treacherous. He took a deep breath, steeling himself for the challenge ahead. I'm coming, Rosie! Just hold on a little longer! He called out, hoping his words would give her the strength to hang on. He couldn't let her down. He wouldn't let her down.
She was being blown about by the wind. The storm was merciless and the trees swayed dangerously, their branches creaking and groaning under the strain. Leaves were torn from their branches and scattered into the air, swirling around like confetti in the wind. The forest floor was a mess of mud and debris, making it difficult to find solid footing. Squeaky knew he had to be careful, but he also knew he had to hurry. Every second counted, and he couldn't afford to waste any time. He had to reach Rosie before it was too late.
I have to help her, Squeaky thought, determination filling his heart. He couldn't let fear or doubt hold him back. Rosie was counting on him, and he wouldn't let her down. He took a deep breath, gathering his courage. He had faced challenges before, but this was different. This was about saving a friend, and that made all the difference. He knew he had to be brave, not just for himself, but for Rosie. He took a step forward, then another, his resolve growing stronger with each step. He would save her. He had to.
Squeaky knew he had to help. The storm was fierce, but his determination was fiercer. He would not let anything stand in his way. He would save Rosie no matter what it took. With a final resolute nod, he set off into the storm, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The wind howled around him, but he didn't let it deter him. He was on a mission, and nothing would stop him. He would find Rosie, and he would bring her to safety. The storm might be powerful, but the power of friendship was stronger. And with that thought in his heart, Squeaky pressed on, a glimmer of hope guiding his way.
Squeaky scurried up a nearby tree, carefully avoiding the wind and rain. He reached Rosie and with all his might pushed her onto a sturdier branch.
Rosie was safe, but what about Squeaky? Just then, the wind died down and the rain began to slow.
Squeaky saw his friend, Freddy the Firefly, flying towards him.
Freddy guided Squeaky through the remaining puddles towards home. Squeaky was so grateful. When they reached the burrow, Squeaky's other friends were waiting. They had worked together to move the branch blocking the entrance.
Everyone cheered when they saw Squeaky was safe. They called him a hero for saving Rosie.
The sun peeked out from behind the clouds, shining brightly. The once dark and ominous sky was now painted with hues of orange and pink, signaling the end of the storm. The air was fresh, filled with the scent of rain and earth. Puddles glistened on the ground, reflecting the golden light of the morning sun. Birds began to chirp, their songs a celebration of the new day. The world seemed to take a deep breath, relieved and renewed after the chaos of the storm. The sun's rays touched every corner, bringing warmth and hope to all who witnessed this beautiful transformation. The storm was over, and a beautiful rainbow filled the sky. It stretched from one end of the horizon to the other, a perfect arc of vibrant colors. Each hue seemed to tell a story of resilience and beauty. The rainbow was a promise, a reminder that after every storm there is peace and beauty. It was a sight to behold, mesmerizing and magical. People stopped in their tracks to admire it, their faces lighting up with smiles. The rainbow brought a sense of unity, as everyone shared in the wonder of nature's masterpiece. It was a moment of pure joy and awe, a gift from the heavens.
Squeaky learned that even the scariest storms eventually pass. As he gazed out the window, he remembered the fear and uncertainty he felt when the storm was raging. The thunder was loud, and the lightning was blinding. But now, looking at the calm and serene landscape, he realized that storms are temporary. They come and go, but they also bring growth and renewal. Squeaky felt a sense of peace wash over him. He knew that he was stronger for having faced the storm. He learned that courage is not the absence of fear, but the ability to move forward despite it. Squeaky smiled, feeling proud of himself, and true friends are always there to help. During the storm, Squeaky's friends stayed by his side. They offered comfort and support, reminding him that he was not alone. Their presence gave him strength and courage. After the storm, they celebrated together, grateful for each other's company. They held hands, hugged, and shared stories of their experiences. The bond between them grew stronger, forged in the fires of adversity. Squeaky realized that friendship is one of the greatest gifts in life. It is a source of joy, comfort, and strength. With friends by his side, he knew he could face any storm that came his way.